The schools may be gone, but the legends live forever. Welcome to the final Jumpshot podcast. Here's your host, Marcus Carlton.
Welcome back to another episode of the Final Jumpshot podcast. As always, I'm your host, Marcus Carlton. Now, as we're on the cusp of the holiday breaks for all the area schools, I want to take a moment and wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. In my life, there are just certain things that take place annually that just confirm that the Christmas season is upon us. Yeah, you got the normal things out there like Christmas trees, the outdoor lights, decorations on the houses. You know, your classic Christmas movies come up like A Christmas Story and It's a Wonderful Life. But for those of us who always have basketball at the front of our minds, nothing says Christmas in Northeast Arkansas like the NEA Invitational Tournament at First National Bank Arena. As the oldest tournament in the state and one of the longest running tournaments in the country, the NEA is as much of a staple of Northeast Arkansas as mosquitoes and rice fields. It's the one tournament that brings together multiple classifications of both boys and girls teams all in one location. 2025 will be the 78th edition of the NEA, and it looks to be yet another great set of days of just some awesome basketball. Now, in today's episode, we're going to feature interviews with two NEA Tournament Committee members who are sitting coaches, Jason Smith of Greene County Tech and Coach Buster Campbell from Riverside. Now, we're also going to visit with a legendary player who had a lot of success in the NEA tournament and actually played against a Buster Campbell coach team in the finals back around 1980. I'm talking about Scottie Pierce from Clover Bend High School. He's going to share his memories of playing in the NEA long before it moved over to First National Bank Arena when it was held back over in the old Indian Fieldhouse. Coach, talk to me about the NEA and tournament. I looked up did some research on it. And from what I found, it's the second longest running tournament in the country. That's not a state tournament or, a regional or something like that. Talk about how important it is to NEA basketball.
Well, I think it's the highlight of NEA basketball every year. I remember when I was a kid, coming to the NEA tournament. And when my kids were growing up, we'd get, Christmas. I had 3 daughters, and they'd get new outfits and stuff to wear, to the. So we're going to wear this to the NEA tournament. It was just a tradition, and I don't think there's any doubt it's the best high school tournament in the state of Arkansas. You can go anywhere you want to, and when we get to the semifinals and finals, you're not going to play in front of a bigger crowd in a tournament in the state of Arkansas. And people say, people keep like, well, what's wrong with like the NEA tournament's going downhill. It's as strong as ever. If you were there last year in the semifinals and finals, great crowds. And it's a small school tournament. Mm-hmm. And we have some of the large schools, but, there's been a push a few times to make it, bring people in from out of state and this, and we've resisted that and said, hey, it's a small school tournament. It's the NEA tournament. Yeah. And that's the way we want to keep it. I just think I can't imagine NEA Northeast Arkansas basketball without it.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not Christmas time if you don't have it.
People build their holidays. Some of them take their vacation days, to come out there. So.
All 3 years that I got to play in it, I have a Christmas birthday. I'm born the day after Christmas, so I played on my birthday every year. It was just kind of a rite of passage. Yeah. I'm glad you brought up the small school aspect of it, because from all the years that I've been affiliated with the tournament, either as a kid or, playing or just a spectator, it always seems like that, some of the bigger teams may come and go, but the backbone of the tournament was kind of the smaller schools.
Well, the kids, they want to come play on that floor. They want to come to ASU and play on that floor. And that's a big thing for them. And like you said, that they're still kids just like me. They've grown up on the NEA tournament, and they're small, and I got grandkids now. They've been going to the NEA tournament. They're 5 years old. They've been going since they were born. Yeah. And I'm sure they're going to want to play there. And that's what keeps it alive. And people want to see BIC and Riverside play. They don't care anything about seeing somebody from Mississippi play somebody from Northwest Arkansas. Right. I think that's what makes it unique. And you won't find anybody a bigger supporter of the NEA tournament than me.
Any favorite memories from either coaching or playing in it?
Oh yeah, when I was a junior, we played Searcy, and I went to high school at Westside, and we played Searcy. Lonnie Weber, who went on and played at ASU, he played for Searcy, and I think they were. And this was the overall. They were ranked number 1 in the state, and we were ranked number 4.
Oh, wow.
And we played them in the semifinals, and they got us, but it was a good, really good ball game. So as a player, that was probably the highlight. And as a coach, when we first won it in 1980 at Caraway, it was Ricky Waters in that group. That was a big deal. And we won it twice here at Riverside, had a chance for a three-peat, and got beat in the third game. That was a big one. We had a huge win against BIC when Brooks Taylor was playing, and he was trying to set a record, and we held him to 1 point, and that was a big highlight. We also had a game where Zach Reynolds was playing, and we were playing Marmaduke, and I think we got down to 4 players with like 2 minutes left in regulation, and we went 2 overtimes.
Wow.
And they beat us at the end. An official missed a call. If it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
he called us out of bounds, and we were not out of bounds. And we were gonna ice it. I mean, they were gonna foul him, and I think he scored 41 or 42. But we had 4 guys against 5, and that was a great memory. But and then just being there with my parents had both been inducted as fans, in the Hall of Honor, and that was a big deal because they love the NEA tournament, and it's just been a big deal for my family and many families throughout Northeast Arkansas.
Well, joining me now on the Final Jump Shot podcast is Clover Bend legend Scottie Pierce. Scottie, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Well, thank you, Marcus, for having me on your broadcast or podcast tonight.
What's your opinion of the NEA tournament?
Well, I think it was one of the best tournaments in the state. It gave an opportunity to play other schools outside of your district. I think they threw in the B and the A together, and plus it allowed the smaller schools an opportunity to showcase their talents, on a big stage in front of a larger audience. And back then it was just one of the premier tournaments in the state, and everybody wanted to be in that tournament. And in fact, I think they had a waiting list for years of people wanting to get in there if somebody dropped out, because teams wouldn't drop out. They wanted to play in that tournament. It was a great tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah, and back in the old Fieldhouse, when you're coming out there as a 16, 17-year-old kid and you're playing in that Fieldhouse, what's that feeling like?
My senior year, we was playing Caraway in the finals, and the gym's packed. It's just electric coming out there playing, as you're on the biggest stage in Northeast Arkansas, and it's a great atmosphere, and it's just I don't know how to describe it, but it'd make goosebumps go up your neck whenever you come out on the floor, for sure. But like I said, we played Caraway my senior year in the NEA finals, and they got us. That was that was a game that I wish we'd go back and play again. But that was a game that sticks with you.
Joining me now on the Final Jump Shot podcast, 4th year Greene County Tech Lady Eagles head coach Jason Smith. Coach Smith, appreciate you coming on with us.
Man, Marcus, I appreciate you asking me. It's quite an honor.
So you've been on the committee for the NEA tournament for about the last 8 years. This tournament is so special to this side of the state. I grew up and was fortunate enough to get to play in it back in the Stone Age when I played high school ball, and it's always been one of those tournaments that just kind of stuck with me. Every year when it gets close to Christmas time, I start thinking, okay, when are the brackets coming out? When are the brackets coming out? And so I can figure out, what days I'm going to sneak away over Christmas break and just go sit and watch some great basketball. This tournament's been going on for over 70 years now. What is it about this tournament that just makes it so special and so different from other holiday tournaments?
Well, I think I think that you hit the nail on the head with kind of the way you described it. The Northeast Arkansas Tournament, it's the granddaddy of them all. It's the Rose Bowl. I was actually trying to do a little research to see just if there were any other tournaments that have gone for that many consecutive years in the United States. And I didn't do a whole lot of research, but I couldn't find any. But I know that it's the longest by far running tournament in the state of Arkansas. And you're right. I mean, it is Christmas. The NEA is Christmas for people that live around here. It's tradition. Gosh, just so many fond memories because like you, I got to, my first memories were when it was at Indian Fieldhouse and I went with my grandpa, when I was just a little kid. And then I was fortunate enough to get to play in it. I'm from Piggott, and we actually only got to play 2 of the 3 years because the other year we had to forfeit because the weather was so bad that our bus driver he said, I'm not driving down there. So, we had to take a forfeit. But so I got to play in it, and I got to watch my sister play in it. And, as a matter of fact, my mom played in it back, a long, long time ago at Sloan Hendricks. And, it's just – it's with every fiber of my being, I love this tournament. And it's just because of that, just all of those memories and then coaching in it. And I've, it's well said that every team that I coach until I quit coaching will play in the NEA tournament. It's just something I believe strongly in, and it means that much to me.
I'm kind of the same way, Coach. I enjoyed it playing in it. There's a lot of times when I go back to watch games, I'll run into guys that either I played with or played against that I haven't seen probably since, the previous year doing the same thing. And it's just kind of, it's almost like a big family reunion because, you see people you played with, you played against, you see the coach's corner, you always see those old legends sitting over there telling the tall tales that seem to get better every single year. It's just such a cool environment just beyond the basketball. It's great basketball, but the environment that goes on around it and the aura of it is just, it's something that I don't know that it could be matched anywhere. That's just my take on it. That's an unpaid advertisement there, but that's just coming straight from my heart.
Sure. Yeah. And I feel that same way. And just, what a perfect location, they're at Arkansas State and at the First National Bank Arena used to be the Convo. And it's just a perfect setting. And yeah, just like you said, oftentimes those early round games, they may not be very good games, but gosh, you run into somebody and you just sit and visit for an hour and a half, the next thing you know, that game's over with and it's on to the next one. But you see people that and it's you just said it great. It is. It's a family reunion that you look forward to going to. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Coach, you mentioned you're from Piggott. Your mom was from Sloan Hendricks. So, you've been around some small schools, and we've seen bigger schools, kind of come and go from the tournament. They'll get in for a little while, then they'll get out. But I kind of feel like the backbone has been the smaller schools, the AA and single A schools. Talk a little bit about how important those small schools are and how they have been important to this tournament historically.
Oh, yeah. And I think that, I do believe that all teams are very important to it because, back in the days when the Jonesboro boys would play, say, the West Memphis boys or the Blytheville boys. Obviously those are just big time matchups, but you hit it on the head again in that, Riverside, Bay, Buffalo Island, Maynard, Clay County Central from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And just the list could go on and on. And we've had Cedar Ridge over here, which is, Old Newark and Old Trough. And then, even you can talk to guys who would say, well, I remember when Egypt played against Mount Pleasant. And it's just so much historical value in those small schools. And golly, there's been so many huge names and players, great players that have come through and just, really established legendary, like their mark at the NEA tournament because that gave that guy from Jonesboro, who's a Jonesboro Hurricane, supporter, it gave him a chance to see that kid that played at Mark Tree, or something along those lines. And that's where, golly, that run that Austin Reeves had, that one year, when it was drawn, it was drawing 10,000 people, to come watch high school basketball, when he was able to play against Valley View and Nettleton in the NEA tournament and just put on an absolute show.
Absolutely. And some of those small schools you mentioned, I'm not going to let my podcast go without mentioning Biggers Reno, because that's where I'm from. Yeah. But Biggers and Clover Bend and, some of those schools like that are no longer around. You would see some great matchups. I had a cousin that played back in the early 80s, and there was like a double or triple overtime game with Clover Bend that is still, some of the old heads will still talk about that game and how wild it was. And I've seen some great ones too. I remember, back when Hunter Mickelson was a freshman at Westside, and they took on Jonesboro and upset Jonesboro in quarterfinals, semifinals, somewhere around in there. But the atmosphere was just beyond electric for that. And there's been so many games like that it's just, it's hard to pinpoint just a few, but those unique matchups like that, like seeing Jonesboro and Westside, we don't get those, in regular non-conference play. Usually it's got to be in like the NEA tournament or in some special setting like that, like a classic, either as a player or as a coach. What are some of those unique matchups that stick out to you?
Well, so, it's funny. I'll flip it. I'll go that, two of my favorite memories from the boys' side involve the Riverside Rebels. And Coach Campbell and who's become a great friend of mine. I have all the respect in the world. 50th year right now. Yeah. I can promise you this, Marcus, I'm not going to go 50 years. I remember one year, it was during, Brooks Taylor's run, when Bill was coaching Brooks, and gosh, what a phenomenal team they had. But I remember, and now he's a good friend of mine, Tyler Timms. Coach Campbell was having Tyler follow Brooks everywhere on the court. Yeah. And so, they're at a free throw, and Bill's trying to give Brooks some instruction. He brings him over the sideline. Next thing you know, Tyler's just standing right there beside Bill. And just, just the pageantry of that. Yeah. Nothing's more NEA tournament than watching, Buster and Bill in their heyday stomping up and down those sidelines. Oh, yeah. But then another one is, do you remember when Buster, he had a thin team one year, like 7-8 guys is all he had. Mm-hmm. And it got down to where he had 4 kids left that hadn't fouled out or wasn't injured, whatever. Uh-huh. And Zach Reynolds put on an absolute show by himself, just 4-on-5, and he had like 30-something points in one game. And just games like that. My goodness, we could go on and on. But that's my memory, and I'm not even from either one of those places.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the girls' side, I will say this, it does make it pretty cool when, we've done it so many different ways and kind of just listen to the coaches and what they want. But, some of those cool matchups were when we basically seeded it 1 through, 30 or however many, 28, however many teams there were, and the top 14 were in the upper bracket and the bottom 14 were in the lower bracket. And I lost an NEA final playing against dadgum Brittany Fowler. We had a 1-point lead when I was at Nettleton. They had a side out of bounds. And, we talked about in the timeout, coming out of a timeout, talked about do not let Brittany Fowler beat you. Do not let Brittany Fowler beat you. And I'll be danged if she didn't catch it and just go length of the floor and throw up a little runner from about 6 feet and they win. And that just games like that, a Nettleton team that was, a really good team that I had, but Stan had Brittany and and that was the only time we played that year. And what a game.
Oh, yeah. And it's, and I haven't looked this up, but some of the NEA champions that went on to either make a deep run in the state tournament or even win the state championship, I kind of feel like playing in that tournament environment at Christmas kind of helped set the table for them to have the run that they had.
Well, especially at those smaller schools like you talk about. It's the only time or one of the few times that they get to play with an open area behind the backboard.
Mm-hmm.
And it does. And they're playing in front of, even on a random day, they're playing in front of 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And that's a state tournament atmosphere. That's what they're going to run into down the line. And they've got that open space behind the backboard. And they're comfortable. They've played in front of this many people, and so they're comfortable. So yeah, I think that those talented teams who I'd be willing to bet that those coaches, those state championship coaches, would say that, yeah, the NEA tournament helped us get as far as we got, just based on, caliber of competition, the arena, and the environment.
And just for those that might be listening to this that have never shot on a goal in an arena where there's no background behind you, there is a huge difference.
Oh yeah. Yes.
It will mess with you, in your judgment on how you shoot. That was the one thing that really stuck out to me, in the years that I got to play on it. And I enjoyed playing on the floor because, some of the guys like myself, we knew we weren't going to play college ball, but the opportunity to get to play on a floor at a D1 arena was,
right.
It just added a little extra juice to it.
Right. Oh, yeah, it does. And I think the statute of limitations has probably ran out, so I can tell this story. But when Coach Boyer was coaching ASU women, I would hit him up. At Nettleton, I would hit him up and we would go up to the convo, and he or Rebecca Peoples or heck, it might have been even Jody Davis at the time, Jody Christenberry.
Mm-hmm.
They would turn the lights on, and it wouldn't be long, but we'd go in and we would get shots up for about 30, 45 minutes. And a lot of times it was on Christmas night, just because nothing was going on. And, we used that because it was such a difference. And, it may have helped us out. And we may have broke tons of NCAA rules and probably NEA tournament rules, but that is something that may or may not have happened back in the day.
Hey, you got to find that advantage where you can get it, that's
right.
I get that, man. I got coaches in the family. I get it. So, all right. I got one more question for you, and then I'll let you get out of here on this. And I'm going to eliminate Austin Reeves from this because he's the obvious choice. Best male and female players that you've watched or coached against in the NEA.
Man, I'll tell you, that's such a tough question and a loaded question. But I'll go back. And at the time, I didn't realize it because I was competing against those guys. I wasn't necessarily competing against, because they weren't in our conference, but same age. One's a grade older, one's my age. But hey, Chip Lane, that joker could play. And then Jason Manchester. A lot of people just know Jason as a coach at Valley View, but he was unguardable. And just, he was really, really good as far as just people that may have played against. Watching Mickelson do his thing. I'll tell you what, the kid who's just name has just escaped me, but out at Arkansas State now from Westside, Honeycutt.
Yeah.
Hey,
he could fill it up, man.
He could fill it up, and a lot of fun to watch. And you could just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
But right off the top of my head, that's what I'd come up with. Now on the girls' side, oh my goodness. I coached against Pauline Love in the NEA tournament.
Oh, wow.
She was unbelievable. Brittany was unbelievable. And one of my favorite memories, because we won, was we faced, and I played Izzy Higginbottom like 1,000 times from the time she was in 7th grade up until she finally graduated. But we had played at the Snowball Shootout in Paragould in early December, Izzy's junior year. And they just wore us out, and she put on an absolute show. She had about 35 and they beat us that night. We get to the NEA finals, and we pulled out, just a junk defense, and we held Izzy to 6. We won the game going away by probably 20 in that, that night. But just as far as a kid who played in the NEA tournament, who was absolutely a beast that I didn't coach, Izzy Higginbottom would be number one on that list.
Yeah. I was going to, I started running through my list when I was putting these questions together. I was kind of, okay, well, who's on my list? And I mean, on the girls' side, I mean, Izzy's got to be right there at the top as far as one of the most entertaining players to watch. Yeah. And I'm going to go
Rachel Allison.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah, she was amazing as well. And then, of course, then you can get into, like, I believe Jordan Madden when she was at EPC. There's just so many, that we don't mention that, probably are, if you look in the top 10 scoring list, you're probably going to see some of them on there.
Well, I mean, a couple that I did coach. I mean, Kendall Yarbrough, I mean, just an absolutely amazing player. A kid that a lot of people talk about. Andy Watson had a great NEA run. And then later on, Jenny Town at Nettleton, Ilana Eaton at Nettleton, Deja Young, Maya Love. And then, I mean, heck, I'll give a shout out to my Tech kids because they wound up winning 2 of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Westland Burnside and JC Edrington both had huge moments in that NEA. And so, I mean, that is the most unfair question in the world because it's almost like you could come up with 100 names and argue about every one of them.
Absolutely. And, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go old school on the men's side. And I'm going to go back. I'm 47, about to be 48 years old. I'm going to go back to when I was 10 years old, either the first or the second year that this tournament was in the Convocation Center. And I watched a guy from Mark Tree by the name of Fred Shepard.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Just dominate. And then there was also a very fine player who went on to play in the SEC over at Gosnell at the time by the name of Joe Harvell.
Yeah, played at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I mean, those two guys, and then all the old heads who, I'm 50, but they act, they're a lot older than me. They'll talk about those Keith Lee, Michael Cage teams. And then we probably could do a whole segment on like great Jonesboro players that played, but I mean, gosh, there's no wrong answer to just a question about, the greatest tournament that in my opinion, the greatest tournament in America.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we didn't even talk about like that Marcus Monk and the AJ Turner team from EPC.
Marcus Monk, PJ Lacey.
Yeah, PJ Lacey. That's the other one I was trying to think of. Yeah.
I mean, those guys, golly, they were must-watch TV back in that, that era too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Frankie Gathan had those teams over at Osceola. Yes. And I mean, my gosh, those EPC teams back then, those guys were I mean, can you imagine if there had been social media back then? Because there were little kids trying to get their autograph, back then. And now, gosh, they'd have been on so many, highlight reels. And how about the Victor Dukes dunk? Yeah. That's still, from Nettleton, that still gets play to this day.
Yeah, that was like 2012, and it'll still make the rounds on TikTok and YouTube every now and then. So
much to Lee Wimberly's chagrin.
Yeah, I think he still claims that there was a charge there that should have been called. So
I was a Raider at the time, so there's no comment on that.
Yeah, hey, Coach, great memories, man. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk with me here about the NEA tournament, and looking forward to it again this year. And I'll be out there as much as I can sneak away from the family, or maybe just drag my boys out there with me to watch it as well. So
that's right. No, hey, seriously, it's an honor and a privilege to be on this thing, and I've listened to these, and man, you're doing great work, and I think that a lot of these small towns and schools that aren't around anymore, I mean, this is worth its weight in gold. So I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. So, all right, Coach, we'll let you get out of here, and we'll talk. We'll get you on another time, and we can talk about the days of playing at Piggott for the Mohawks.
That sounds good, man. I appreciate you. All right.
I want to thank all three gentlemen for coming on the show and giving some great memories from their experiences with the NEA tournament. Now, our teammates and I, we always got excited about playing in the NEA, and I touched on a few of the great memories of mine as a fan, both before and after my playing days. But at this time, I want to do something a little different. I want to hear from you guys. What are your favorite memories of the NEA tournament, whether they be as a player or as just a fan, head on over to the Final Jump Shot Facebook page and just leave us a comment about what your favorite memory is of the NEA tournament. Was it watching Austin Reeves put on his clinic a few years ago? Does it go back further than that? Does it go back to the days of when it was played in the old Indian Fieldhouse? Who are some of the great players that you remember? Just leave us your favorite memories, boys or girls teams, either one. I want to hear them all, because your memories of this tournament are part of what makes this tournament so special. I mean, it's more than just the high school games being played on a Division I college court. We pointed it out earlier in this episode. This NEA tournament is almost like a family reunion. It's about former teammates whose their lives may have taken them in different directions, being able to reconnect every year to catch up while enjoying the sport that they all love. Now, with the 78th edition of this NEA tournament being on the verge of tip-off, I want to take a moment and just encourage everyone to go out, watch some games, support the teams, look around at the interactions of the fans that are going on, and just soak it all in. I think we have a basketball diamond here in Northeast Arkansas with this NEA tournament, the second longest running tournament in the country from the research that I was able to find. So that's going to put a bow on this episode of the Final Jump Shot podcast. Again, I want to say a big hearty thank you to everyone for listening to this. And if you enjoy this show, the best way that you can help us grow the show is to follow the Facebook page and subscribe to Cam Productions YouTube channel and leave us a review on Spotify. But we're going to take a couple weeks off and enjoy the holiday season. I'm going to enjoy some of these NEA games as well. I plan to be out there and catch several of these games myself. And we'll be back January 9th will be when we have our next episode in season 2. To be episode 4. And it's going to be a familiar name because we visited with this gentleman earlier in this podcast, Clover Bend legend Scottie Pierce. We've got a longer interview with Scottie that we're going to play for you guys. Gives a lot of great history. He played for Hoss Jones when Hoss was a coach at Clover Bend. And Scottie's got a really great story about where basketball was able to take him in his life. So for the last time in 2025, I'm Marcus Carlton. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Final Jump Shot will be back in early 2026.
You've been listening to The Final Jump Shot, a Cam Productions podcast. Subscribe to The Final Jump Shot to ensure you never miss an episode.